Well, welcome back to the marketplace. We want to get back to that story to do with imported inflation. As we have been reporting for the month of April, it declined to 43.1% from 51.6% in March, according to data from the Ghana Statistical Service. There are some analysts who believe this could be as a result of the city's stability. But I want you to take a listen to the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kwabena, when that question was posed to him. He was not quick to jump to that conclusion.
Thank you very much. So again, let's keep in mind that all three variables that we've talked about do not have a direct input in the computation of consumer price index and rate of inflation. Taxes, monetary policy rate, and what is going to happen on the foreign exchange market only influence our consumer price index and rate of inflation indirectly. And it's one of the reasons why we thought today's presentation should highlight the inter- and intra-regional variations that we are seeing. We feel that there is a lot that we have to do at the real sector perspective to complement whatever the central bank is doing to ensure that we bring down inflation. So it's our expectation that conversations would ensue around why consistently in the last 3 months we are seeing the Western North region recording the highest food inflation, while we're going to ask questions that in the last 7 months, the Volta region has recorded the least food inflation. This is the conversation that should happen in order to help us better predict the indirect effect that we are only hypothesizing that it would affect inflation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you all for coming.
Well, joining us, banking and finance lecturer Dr. Jabir Mohammed, with some analysis on this, plus the other news we're covering about the delays in loan advancement. I want to start with the thoughts of the government statistician, as we just heard, on imported inflation, the decline. We asked him, does it have anything to do with the city's stability? He says, well, it's too quick to jump to that conclusion. What do you think is accounting for this decline we are seeing in imported inflation?
Thank you so much, and good afternoon to your viewers. Inflation is basically about the general price level, the increase in the general price level of goods and services. Imported inflation maybe is as a result of, let's say, an increase in generally the exchange rate will have a serious impact on inflationary tendencies. But that notwithstanding, we have seen a consistent stability in terms of the cedi in recent times. And when the cedi is stable, then we are able to import at the lower cost, and that will have a general impact on price levels that you import into the country. But that notwithstanding, you cannot conclusively say that without actually gathering the goods that we have imported, and seeing the differentials in terms of the price levels on which we imported previously and the current one, then you can compute the differences to be able to see that that stability is there. If you look at the food inflation that trended downward, it's about 7.5% reduction in terms of food inflation, imported food inflation, which is a bit highly significant. You may attribute that to the price. You may attribute that to that price differentials in terms of the inflation that is being imported, and that is what and that of what is currently existing in the country. So you can juxtapose that with that foreign inflation and the existing inflation. But I will conclude that it's too close time to predict that. What is accounting for that is the exchange rate. So let's wait and see in the next coming months whether inflation is likely to drop again, let's say by 35% or something like that. Then we can say that the exchange rate stability is contributing to that. But right now, we cannot conclude that in terms of the stability of the exchange rate is what is contributing to the general decrease in the price level of imported inflation.
The stability of local currency is important in sustaining this decline in imported food inflation.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say, that the stability of the local currency can contribute significantly to that. But it is too the time is within just 1 month, we cannot conclude that. So let's wait and see in the next coming month whether we will have another downward trend in terms of inflation and whether the currency can still be stable as we are seeing it today.
Okay. And in terms of the currency in itself, what do we need to do to keep it where it is or even better in terms of performance with the dollar and other major trading currencies?
Well, I think it should come from productivity point of view. If we are able to increase productivity and reduce the level of imports, then we will be in a better position to keep the cedi stable. But as it stands right now, if you consistently increase your import, then you are going to have challenges with your local currency. Are we able to produce enough to feed our local economy? Are we so much dependent on foreign goods and services? If we are able to do much on the real sector of the economy, then we can have a point to argue that it's going to help to keep inflation downward, or it's going to help to keep the currency stable. But for now, if we are not able to do much on the real sector by producing more goods and services, then it's going to be extremely difficult for us to have a stable currency.